Hello everybody, welcome to today's episode of House of Tallysha. I am Isabel Tallysha-Soares. Welcome to the beautiful city of Granada in the south of Spain, in the province of Andalusia. And Granada actually means pomegranates, and it is the symbol of the city, a monumental place combining layer upon layer of history and of occupation of civilizations, as we shall see. One of the beauties of Granada is the fact that it is a cauldron combining European old world architecture with Arabic architecture, like in this case behind me, where the city resembles a kasbah, an Arabic kasbah, which is a commercial neighborhood. And I fell in love with Granada the first time I was here in 2000. And when I wrote The Tame Man, some of the scenes are here in Granada because of one of the characters actually comes to live here in Granada, in this city of beauty combining east and west in its architecture. Very worthwhile the visit and so iconic. We are in front of the old town hall here in Granada. Like so many other buildings, the old town hall was built over a pre-existing building of the Arab period of the history of Granada. And another characteristic of this building is that it was the old madrasa, and a madrasa is a Quranic school. Very characteristic is as well the fact that the facade of the old town hall is painted using the technique of trompe-l'œil to pretend to make believe it was built using nobler materials than those with which it is actually built. If you see the detail of the painting of the facade, it simulates a 3D use of bricks made of stone, and actually the surface of the building is totally flat. This is just painting, not 3D, but it's a two-dimensional drawing on the wall. This is the Royal Chapel, Capilla Real, which is adjacent to the Cathedral in Granada. Inside you have the tombs of Isabella of Castile and Leon and Ferdinand of Aragon. Together they are known as the Catholic monarchs, and they were responsible to bringing an end to Arabic presence in the Iberian Peninsula when they took Granada over from Moorish government. And Moorish presence or Arabic presence in the Iberian Peninsula lasted between the centuries 8th AD and the 16th century. And the reconquest of Granada puts an end to that presence. The fact that the royal monarchs are here is a testament to that period and to the end of the Christian reconquest of the Iberian Peninsula. In Granada, we are in the presence of a magnificent Renaissance cathedral. Not exactly the kind of cathedrals that we associate with Gothic architecture and the Middle Ages, because remember that the city was only taken from Moorish government during the reign of the Catholic monarchs of Spain, Isabella and Ferdinand, hence a Renaissance building. Emperor Charles V decided to convert the cathedral into a royal mausoleum, maybe to further instill Christian belief in a population that was still very much Muslim, very much Islamic, because even though Granada was taken from the Moors, which was reconquered back to Christian occupation, the population still kept their Muslim faith, and hence the grandeur of this cathedral. Plaza de las Pasiegas. Oh, we've got to go to the other side of the cathedral if we want to go to the Alhambra. We are at the gates, one of the gates of the monumental Alhambra, a World Heritage Site of the UNESCO, one of my favorite monuments in the world. Behind me, the Arch of the Pomegranates, Arco de las Granadas, and if you see on top of the arch, you will find 3 giant pomegranates, the symbol of the city. Beyond the woods leading to the fortress of the Alhambra, to the Generalife, the gardens of the Alhambra, and all the palaces within the compound. Water is what fascinated peoples from the deserts. The Arabic people that got to the Iberian Peninsula in the 8th century AD found a stronghold here in the Al-Andalus, in Andalusia, and there was plenty of water here where they built the Alhambra. Water coming from the Sierra Nevada, water from fountains all over. And so in the Alhambra, you will hear the gurgling of water everywhere you go. Alhambra means literally Alhambra, the red one, because of the red color that the buildings of the compound have. And so it is the color of the building materials of the complex of the Alhambra that gave the name by which the entire complex is known.
Well, so now, ladies and gentlemen, if you have a look just in front, that is Alhambra. Nasari is the name of the dynasty that built Alhambra. Nasari is a surname, a last name, like a Smith Nasari, okay? So that is the family that built all the Alhambra. Well, so ladies and gentlemen, we take the picture and then we have to start to walk. Because we have to go for the...
gatto balzo per scendere, va bene?
Everywhere in the Alhambra, always the same writing. It's called cursive writing and means only Allah is great.
Mom, leave it. Just leave it.
Let's get the shadow.
That's not natural.
Get the shadow. Stay right there. Take the shadow.
Mom, look ahead.
Right there. Take the shadow.
You're not natural.
Take the light off.
What are we going to visit?
The Lion's Court.
Ima.
Tales of the Alhambra. Washington Irving. The first time I came to the Alhambra was on the 27th August 2000. I know this because I wrote it on Tales of the Alhambra by Washington Irving. More on Irving later on. Well, talking about the Alhambra, and the first time I was here was in 2000. It's 2019, 19 years have passed, but not much has changed in the way that this is one of the most visited monuments in Spain. And about 8,600 people visit the Alhambra every single day of the year. This is late December and we are crowded. This is packed full of tourists. Tips to help you prepare your visit to the Alhambra. Prepare ahead, that's the best tip. It's totally worth it to splurge a little bit on a guided tour We had a guided tour and the guide was simply amazing. And each time I come and I have a guided tour, I learn more. And you learn so much more with a guide who is proficient in what she or he knows than just come to visit the Alhambra on your own, although there are audio guides everywhere. And another tip, which is, how should you organize your visit? The first time I came, I started with the Alcazaba, which you have behind me, and which is the fortress. Then I went to the palaces of the Nasri and the Generalife. And this time the tour was all way around, and I thought it was so much more fantastic. We started in the gardens and in the summer palace of the Generalife, where the Sultan spent summer. Then we came down to the Alcazaba, to the Red Fortress that gives name to the Alhambra. Then the Nasri palaces, the three Nasri palaces. And that is the most overwhelming part of the visit. So if you leave the Nasri palaces for last, you save the cherry on top of the cake for last. Having said this, I can only wish that you enjoy the Alhambra as much as I do, and that you, if you plan ahead, that you enjoy the trip without so much stress, because thousands of people means thousands of people. So very much worth the visit, and splurge a little bit on a guided tour. When you come to the Alhambra, you will find many plaques and statues commemorating Washington Irving. Washington Irving was a writer and diplomat, an American writer and diplomat who lived in the Alhambra briefly in the first half of the 19th century. And Washington Irving is celebrated today because he wrote Tales of the Alhambra. When I did a tour of the Alhambra for the first time in 2000, I did so listening to excerpts of Tales of the Alhambra by Washington Irving. And I was so enchanted by listening to those tales that I actually bought the book and brought it home as a souvenir of this monument. It is to the sound of running water that is so prevalent here in the Alhambra that we come to the end of our tour in beautiful Granada. If you like these contents, subscribe the channel House of Tallysha, leave suggestions and comments below. As for me, I am Isabel Tallysha-Soares. I hope to see you next time on House of Tallysha. And as always, I will be waiting for you.
O gajo vai-se embora, vais repetir.
Vou repetir. And to the sound of music and celebrating Washington.
Oh, sound of music? What are you talking about?
I can't believe this.